So I am back with Harper St. George, who just read a delightful excerpt from Eliza and the Duke. And I think this excerpt really highlighted a theme that we see in historical romance and particularly in Victorian and Gilded Age romance, which is the importance of money and also the intersection of class and money. Like Simon can't really blame her that she wants
Hmm.
this money. And also, Eliza really can't imagine living life the way Simon lives his, but they're attracted to each other.
Right.
So I wonder if you could talk about that, how you think about that as you've written these two different series that are interconnected. And then I have more questions about the different eras you've written in.
Sure. So, the one thing I wanted to do with this book is explore that different part of London because with my first series, The Gilded Age heiresses, and this series, they were all fairly privileged as far as, being born into families who had money, who had security. And Simon did not have that. And Eliza, she only grew up conditionally with money. As long as they did what her godfather wanted, he would take care of them. So she grew up not really thinking she was upper class. And she even tells Simon, we're not that much different. But then she goes to Whitechapel and she sees, oh, this is how people in poverty really live. And she sort of sees that it wasn't exactly what she thought. So I wanted to explore that a bit. And also in Whitechapel, they go to this really famous theater that is actually still standing. It was there at the time. It did get burnt out, but the original building is still there, where you had these traveling singers who would like go there, even singers from America, and other parts of Europe. And this was in Whitechapel. So it's not quite exactly what we think of when we think of Whitechapel. I think of like Jack the Ripper and
Hmm.
the prostitutes in the alleyways, and all of that was there. But, it was peopled with a lot of factory workers and things like that who, honestly, yes, lived very meager existences, but they also had the music theaters, and there were sort of side shows you would have pop up in parlors and taverns. So there was sort of a thriving arts community there as well, which I don't think we really think of when we think of that era. So it was really interesting to explore all the different sides of London and how the people might have lived back then.
Yeah, that's really cool. And did you have to do a lot of new research for this book or the series that took you to London?
Yeah, so I was lucky right before the pandemic, we were able to take a trip to London. And of course, we went to Mayfair and all the parks and Hyde Park and all the others. But we did go to Whitechapel and go to the alleys. And so I did get to see that firsthand because I knew at some point I wanted to bring that into the story. And then just researching, gosh, there are recordings of musicians who played there still around today, which is pretty amazing if you can think about it. And a lot of the songs that were written there would be performed in theaters in the United States too. So it was just really cool, that research.